it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is the astrological forecast for March 2021 as I see it. Before I start, I just wanted to give a thanks to a few people who are supporting me with Sasha. No real update at this point. We're still sort of plugging along. So I want to thank Vivian, Judy, and Miss Ireland. I appreciate your contributions. I also wanted to give a shout out to one of my clients called Amber, who has a great website and does tarot. You can see her connection to her site below. So when we look at the 3rd or 4th of March, we see that Jupiter and Mercury are together in Aquarius. So when we talk about Aquarius, we're talking about electronic communications. It's also electric, it's sudden and unexpected. And with Jupiter there, what it's doing is actually amplifying that. So this, on a surface level, just says there's going to be lots of communications, could be unexpected communications, and many messages could be coming in for you from various things. Could be texts, could be actual mail as well, but more typically it'll be like electronics type stuff or somebody phoning you, that type of thing. So that's right at the beginning of March. So this is like amping up the month of March with regards to communications. We also have this Jupiter and Mercury trining the north nodes of the moon in Gemini. And then what this does is speaks to our collective as well as our individual destinies. And it could be that if you are on a receiving level from the universe, from source, you could get some really big downloads right now with regards to where you should be going in this lifetime regarding your destiny. So a lot of times we're confused or we're just unsure. And I think these are normal human things. But this, if you're receptive, and perhaps this also lends itself to suggesting that you might want to get into meditation. And if you don't get into meditation or can't connect with that type of thing, just get into nature. Walk in the forest, go to the sea, the ocean, that type of thing. Even going out with your pets on your own can really lend the sort of environment that you need to receive these downloads that may be very important for you and your future. So we've got the new moon in Pisces on the 13th of March. That's at 2:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's at 23 degrees and 3 minutes of Pisces. It has 5 celestial bodies in Pisces at this time. Right. And we have Venus approaching Neptune to conjunct it with the moon and the sun. So really what this new moon is telling us is that there's a lot of romance around this. So when we bring in Venus, which is love, it's also money and our values. But in this case, because it's so much associated with Neptune, and Neptune, of course, is the higher octave of love. That's like encompassing agape love. Lovely mix to have both these planets together, Venus and Neptune in Pisces. And I would say that if you wanted to pick a romantic day, this would be it, the 13th of March. Certainly the setting is going to be very nice with regards to that. Now, the other thing is, of course, when we look at Neptune in the mix, Neptune can also go the other way. Neptune can also have deception in love. So, you know, we could be wearing our rose-colored glasses at this time. And I always say, enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with feeling romantic or feeling in love. But sometimes what happens is, after this, something is revealed to you that maybe isn't quite as romantic as you thought. It doesn't mean everything that will go south with regards to romance and love. It just says there may be the rose-colored glasses coming off after this new moon. But certainly being a new moon, this would be a great time to put some intentions to the universe with regards to what you want to attract in your life, whether that's love, money, or more values, changing your values perhaps, having people value you more. On the 14th of March, we have the exact conjunction of Venus and Neptune. So again, this is going to be at 20 degrees of Pisces. So if you've got anything around that, or opposite in Virgo, 20 degrees of Virgo, this could be some very romantic, deep soulmate type of love where you just feel that you're destined to be with this person. And I just think that's great. It's lovely. But it can also be deception. So it's always difficult to tease out. Certainly if I could do your personal chart, I could see how it does, but I'm just doing a general reading here. So Pisces, enjoy is all I have to say. Now the opposite sign to this, of course, is Virgo. So it could be that you will have a partner, Virgo, that will appear to be very romantic and kind of a destined type thing as well. So you'll have it coming at you and feeling that you are compelled to be with this person. And it may very well be that this is the right thing for you. But again, just like Pisces, one has to be aware of you know, those rose-colored glasses that sometimes can be quite deep pink. I wanted to also mention at this point, too, one of my favorite poets, and for you guys that follow me, you know that Rumi is one of my favorite poets. And I've got this book actually that is really, really beautiful, as well as nice to read. But I just wanted to mention like one of my favorite sayings from Rumi, and it really is something to meditate on. And this is it. This is a subtle truth. Whatever you love, you are. So what does this suggest? This suggests that you should maybe meditate, perhaps even around this new moon in Pisces, with regards to what you have deep feelings for, especially at a high level of love, where you're attracted to it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a person as well. We may be attracted to other things too. I mean, certainly Pisces can be addictions of any sort as well. Are we more in love with those than an actual person? Something to think about. Good time to meditate, by the way. All right, so when we go to the 19th of March, here we're looking at lovely Venus sextiling Pluto. Wow, this is like Beauty meeting up with the Beast. But it's also power again. So it may be opportunities for powerful expressions of love. Now, on a more mundane level or worldwide level, it could be a time when there's opportunities for a different type of power with regards to our monies to come into play, or opportunities maybe to invest. Powerful people coming into our life that have money that maybe will give us opportunities to do what we maybe need to do. It's also a time for us personally to maybe more easily change some of our value systems, or have other people recognize that you want to be valued differently. It's a powerful effect, that Venus sextiling Pluto. Now the next day, on the 20th of March, we have the Sun going into 0 degrees of Aries. And of course, from an astrological standpoint, this is the start of the new year for the astrological community, especially like Western astrology. It's when, like I said, we have the Sun at 0 degrees of Aries. A nice time to celebrate new beginnings with regards to what we're going to be doing this year. Venus will also be going into Aries on the 22nd of March. And this suggests that there may be new starts in relationships. And this is from a collective level as well as for us personally. So certainly if you are in Aries, for instance, this could be a new start in your relationship, or a new relationship starts for you. That could be the other thing as well. On the 23rd of March, we have Mercury in Pisces sextiling Uranus at 8 degrees. Well, this is, again, communications, but it's compassionate. It's maybe there's going to be some kind of humanitarian event that comes up, or need that comes up, that's going to require some pretty quick action for us to act, and messages going all over to make that happen. it can also be earth related, where we have some kind of shaking of the earth, or I'm thinking more seismology in that sort of realm. So this could be more to do with sort of earthquakes. That's what I was thinking when I looked at this configuration. But it's unexpected communication. So some of us could be receiving some unexpected communications that come in. Now we're finished with the Mercury retrograde, of course, when we're in March. So it could be, now that that's going away, as well as the shadow period, that you unexpectedly hear from somebody from the past, now that we're out of the Mercury retrograde. On the 27th of March, we have Mars conjuncting the north nodes of the moon in Gemini. So this is us taking action with regards to where we want to go on our destiny path. It could involve males, because that's what Mars represents, but on its own, it's energy, where we feel more enthused about this path we're getting on, this new path for our destiny. And that'll be individual as well as collective too. The 28th of March, we now go into the last moon of the month, which is a full moon in Libra. And this is at 11:48 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time at 8 degrees Libra, 18 minutes. So the birthdays that we're looking at here, certainly from the Libra standpoint, would be the 30th of September to the 2nd of October. But of course we are also involving, because it's a full moon, the opposite sign, which is Aries. So Aries is the 28th to the 30th of March for you, for some culmination. So full moons always represent some culmination. Now the culmination doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It could be that you're leaving something behind that you need to leave behind, especially as it relates to maybe taking a new road for yourself, where you have to pioneer something on your own at this time. Nothing wrong with that. But again, this may tie into relationships, because we've got Libra here, and of course that is the relationship sign, is ruled by Venus. So it could be that some relationships may end at this time. Maybe there's a natural ending at this time for some relationships. It can also involve the law too. Maybe on a more global level, we will see the influence of new laws that come into our lives to change something for the better. But it can also be a time when, say, some of your projects come to some kind of culmination and an end. So those are different areas that could be affected. But being a full moon in Libra, we're looking at Libras in particular being affected, and then the opposite sign of Aries. We have Venus and Chiron that are conjuncting the Sun at 8 degrees of Aries. So to me, I looked at this and I just got this sexual healing. That's what I got from that combination of Venus, Chiron, and the Sun. That's what I came up with. But certainly this is going to do something with regards to lightening up your life, and maybe even lighting up your life. Saturn will trine the north nodes of the moon, and then sextile the south nodes of the moon. So this says that some easily put in place structure to get you on your path of destiny, but at the same time, opportunities to let go of things that are no longer serving, that you don't want them anymore, especially with regards to our beliefs. So that south node of the moon is in Sagittarius. So this is our beliefs, our philosophies, that type of thing. This is an ideal time to set up new structures that actually work for us and support us with regards to where we want to go. So at the end of the month, on the 30th, we have Mercury conjuncting Neptune at 21 degrees of Pisces. So if you've got anything at that point, expect to feel perhaps dreamy. You could receive messages that are important to you with regards to love again. But I'm getting the feeling that this may be an opportunity for us to, as a collective, start thinking, speaking, and writing about how to be more compassionate. So Pisces really at its highest is compassion. It's agape love. It's world love, embracing love. And so we may hear more talk about that towards the end of March. And I think that would be very apropos at this point in humankind's adventures. When we look at the night sky, the bright star Sirius can be seen at this time. So go outside, find Orion's belt. That's pretty easy, right? Those 3 different stars. You're looking in the south in the early evening. So this is a time period when most of us can easily get outside. And a little bit to the left, a little bit farther down from Orion's belt, that's where you're going to actually see this bright star Sirius. Now, if we look back historically, this formed the foundation of the Egyptian calendar, because when this rose, this star, this represented all those the rains and the floods to actually provide water for all the crops. Now, on its own, this star indicates a small action of the individual has a large effect on the effective. So I'll put the citation for Brady below here. She talks about in her book, Princess Diana was born with Sirius culminating with her sun. And if we're looking at the degree point at this point in time, we're looking at about 13 degrees of Cancer, 24 minutes, plus or minus some degrees. There's kind of a little bit of latitude with regards to the degree point, but it's around that point that we're looking at Sirius. So have you got anything that you were, say, born with natally around those degrees, 13 Cancer, 24 minutes? You could be bringing something that you think is small that may actually have a large effect on the collective. Next month, we've got a new moon in Aries, and we have a full moon in Scorpio, and that will be forming an opposition with Uranus. So certainly that full moon in Scorpio is going to be bringing some intensity to our lives. It will be trining Mars as well, the new moon in Aries next month in April. So that to me says real movement towards what we may want to manifest in our lives. All right, everyone, take care of yourself. I'm sending you lots of love and appreciation, and really enjoy yourself as we're getting into the spring season. I'm hearing all the birds outside and blossoms are coming out on the trees, and it just feels good, that energy. So enjoy.